When your vibration is strong, life starts reacting differently, not later, but right now. That's not some deep spiritual line. That's real psychology. How you think, how you feel, how you carry yourself, it's shaping what you get back from life every single day. You want results to change. You want to stop feeling stuck, ignored, behind, or just tired of trying. Then your energy has to change first. Not just once. Every day. That's where this guide comes in. This isn't about pretending to be positive or trying to impress people. It's about learning how to take control of your focus, your reactions, your habits, and raising your vibration so clearly and so consistently that reality starts shifting with you. If you've ever said, "I know I'm meant for more," this is for you. You don't need more motivation. You need alignment. You don't need to wait. You need to decide. Let's raise your vibration so strongly that life finally listens. Chapter 1. Raise your mood before touching any task. When I stand in front of people and speak about change, I start with one simple truth that has guided my own life for decades, and it is this: your results rarely change before your inner state changes first. People wake up and rush straight into activity. They grab the phone, they check messages, they jump into duties, they step into the day, already tired, already tense, already rushed. Then they wonder why the day pushes back. They wonder why nothing flows. They wonder why effort feels heavy. The issue is not the task. The issue is the mood that walked into the task. Raising your vibration in a real human way begins with something very basic. It begins with how you feel before you act. Mood is not some soft idea. Mood is the signal you send to your own mind and body. When your mood is low, your body tightens, your breath shortens, your thinking narrows, you react faster and regret more. When your mood is lifted, your body relaxes, your breath deepens, your thinking opens. You see options, you speak with clarity, you listen better. Life responds differently because you show up differently. Most people try to use action to fix mood. They say, "Once I finish this, I will feel better. Once this problem is gone, I will feel calm. Once people change, I will feel confident." That approach keeps them waiting. Strong people reverse this order. They decide the mood first. They decide calm first. They decide focus first. Then they move, and because the inner state is steady, the outer world begins to respond. Think about the simple moments of daily life: walking into work, speaking to family, handling a hard conversation, starting a project. These moments are not neutral. You carry a feeling into them. If you walk in rushed, the room feels rushed. If you walk in tense, the room feels tight. If you walk in grounded, the room settles. This is not theory. This is human behavior. People sense tone. People feel energy. People respond to presence before they respond to words. Raising your mood before touching any task is not about forcing happiness. It is about choosing readiness. It is about checking your inner posture before you move. Just as you would stand straight before lifting something heavy, you must steady your inner state before lifting responsibility. You do not rush into heavy weight with poor form. You prepare. The same principle applies to life. Start with the body, because the body listens quickly. Straighten your posture. Slow your breathing. Relax your jaw. Drop your shoulders. These small physical changes send a message to the nervous system that says there is no emergency right now. When the body feels safe, the mind becomes clearer. This is practical. This is immediate. You do not need motivation for this. You need awareness. Then check the tone of your thoughts. Ask one simple question. What mood am I about to bring into this moment? Not what do I feel like doing? Not what happened earlier. Just what mood am I choosing now? Responsibility begins there. People think responsibility starts with action. It starts earlier than that. Starts with choice of state. When you raise your mood, you raise your standards. You speak more carefully. You move with intention. You make fewer careless mistakes. You waste less energy. That is why it feels like reality responds faster. It is not magic. It is alignment. Your inner signals and outer actions match. Confusion fades. Resistance drops. Consider how often frustration comes from doing the right task in the wrong state. A calm task done in anger becomes difficult. A simple conversation done in irritation becomes conflict. The same task done with patience becomes manageable. The task did not change. You did. People ask how long it takes to change a life. Sometimes it takes years of discipline. Sometimes it takes one decision repeated daily. Raising your mood before action is one of those decisions. It is a quiet habit. No one applauds it. No one sees it. But it shapes outcomes more than effort alone ever could. There will be days when mood feels heavy. Those days still allow choice. Choice does not require excitement. Choice requires honesty. You can say I feel low, but I will not carry this into the next hour. You can say I am tired, but I will not act careless. You can say I am under pressure, but I will not rush my tone. This is emotional maturity. This is strength. When you step into a task with a steady mood, your focus sharpens. Distractions lose power. You are not pulled in 10 directions. You finish what you start. Completion builds confidence. Confidence lifts mood further. Now momentum forms. This is how inner change accelerates outer results. Notice how often people say I do not feel like it. That sentence has ended more dreams than failure ever did. Feeling is treated like a command. Strong people treat feeling like information. They acknowledge it without obeying it. They raise their mood first, then they move. Mood also affects how long you last. Low mood drains energy fast. High mood sustains effort. This is why two people can work the same hours and one feels empty, while the other feels fulfilled. It is not the workload. It is the inner state carried through the workload. Raising your mood does not mean ignoring reality. It means facing reality with strength instead of tension. Calm is not weakness. Calm is control. Calm allows better decisions. Calm allows patience. Calm allows respect. These qualities invite cooperation from life and from people. There is a quiet confidence that comes when you know you can adjust your inner state at will. You stop fearing circumstances. You stop waiting for permission. You know that before any task, before any conversation, before any challenge, you can pause and set your tone. That pause changes everything. People often search for instant change outside. They look for tools, systems, shortcuts. The fastest shift is internal. It happens in seconds. Straighten the body. Slow the breath. Choose the mood. Then act. That order creates power. When mood leads action, reality feels less hostile. Problems become situations to handle, not threats to escape. You stop reacting and start responding. Response carries intention. Reaction carries impulse. Life rewards intention. Over time, this habit builds self-respect. You trust yourself more because you know you will not abandon your inner standards when pressure appears. That trust becomes stability. Stability becomes presence. Presence changes rooms. Presence changes outcomes. You do not need perfect mornings or perfect conditions. You need conscious moments. Even one conscious breath before a task shifts direction. Even one decision to soften your tone can change a conversation. Even one pause can prevent regret. Raising your vibration strongly begins here, not in grand ideas, but in daily choices. Mood before motion, state before strategy, inner order before outer effort. This is the quiet discipline that separates those who struggle from those who steadily progress. If you practice this daily, life starts to feel more cooperative. Not because life changed, but because you meet it differently. And when you meet life differently, it answers differently. That is how reality appears to obey. It responds to clarity. It responds to calm strength. It responds to consistency. The moment you realize you can choose your mood, you reclaim control. No task is too small for this practice. No task is too big for this practice. Each moment becomes training. Each day becomes proof. This is not about perfection. It is about awareness. Awareness practiced daily becomes power, and power used calmly becomes results that last. So before touching the next task, pause, adjust, decide, enter with intention, then move forward. This one habit done consistently can change how life unfolds in front of you. Chapter 2. Change how you think before moving. People keep saying they are waiting for motivation, as if motivation is a visitor that might knock on the door someday. That idea quietly weakens people. It teaches them to sit still and hope instead of stand up and move. I learned early that motivation does not arrive first. Action arrives first. Feeling follows action. Energy grows after movement, not before it. Most people wake up and check how they feel before they decide what to do. If they feel tired, they slow down. If they feel uncertain, they delay. If they feel uninspired, they postpone. That pattern trains the mind to stay in charge of behavior. The mind then learns a dangerous lesson that it does not need to cooperate unless conditions feel right. Over time, discipline erodes. Confidence fades. Progress stalls. The truth is simple. Motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes. It changes with sleep, with food, with stress, with weather, with people. If your life depends on something so unstable, your results will always swing. Strong individuals do not depend on motivation, they depend on decision. Decision is steady. Decision is deliberate. Decision does not wait for mood approval. Creating your own motivation starts with understanding that motion creates emotion. The body and the mind are connected in a direct way. When the body stays still, the mind stays heavy. When the body moves, the mind wakes up. This is why starting is the hardest part. Once movement begins, resistance weakens. The mind stops arguing because it now has direction. People often believe motivation should feel exciting. That belief causes disappointment. Real motivation often feels quiet. It feels like resolve. It feels like showing up even when enthusiasm is absent. It feels like doing the next small action without drama. Over time, those actions create pride. Pride creates energy. Energy creates momentum. Now motivation appears, but it arrived after effort, not before. Waiting for motivation hands control to feelings. Creating motivation takes control back. You decide the hour will matter. You decide the task will be done. You decide progress will continue regardless of mood. That decision sends a clear message to your mind that action is not optional. The mind then shifts from debate to cooperation. Daily life offers endless chances to practice this. Getting out of bed, beginning work, starting exercise, making a difficult call. These moments rarely feel exciting beforehand, yet every time you move anyway, you strengthen a muscle inside. That muscle is self-command. It is the ability to lead yourself without emotional approval. People underestimate how much confidence comes from keeping promises to yourself. Each time you act without motivation, you prove something important. You prove that feelings do not control behavior. That proof builds trust. Trust builds self-respect. Self-respect becomes a powerful source of motivation that does not fade quickly. Creating motivation also means removing the habit of negotiation. Many people negotiate with themselves all day. They ask, should I do this now or later? Should I try today or tomorrow? Should I wait until I feel ready? That constant negotiation drains energy. Decision eliminates negotiation. Once decided, energy is freed for action. Another key is lowering the demand for perfection. People delay action because they want the right mood, the right plan, the right timing. That pressure blocks movement. Progress requires imperfect starts. Starting imperfectly produces learning. Learning produces improvement. Improvement produces confidence. Confidence fuels motivation naturally. When you rely on motivation, you work only on good days. When you create motivation, you work on ordinary days. Ordinary days make up most of life. Success belongs to those who know how to move on ordinary days. Creating motivation also involves environment. Your surroundings influence behavior more than inspiration does. Clear space invites action. Simple routines reduce friction. Visible reminders prompt movement. These are not dramatic changes, but they remove excuses. When excuses disappear, action becomes easier. Energy grows when effort is consistent. Sporadic bursts feel intense but fade fast. Consistent effort feels boring at times, but builds strength. Strength creates endurance. Endurance creates reliability. Reliability creates results that compound. People often ask how to stay motivated long term. The better question is how to stay engaged. Engagement comes from participation. Participation requires action. Action requires choice. Choice does not wait for feeling. It happens now. The mind will resist at first. It will suggest delay. It will bring up doubts. It will point out discomfort. That resistance is normal. It fades once movement begins. The mind is like a reluctant engine. It complains before it warms up. Once warmed, it runs smoothly. There is freedom in knowing you do not need to feel ready. Readiness is built through repetition. Each time you act without motivation, you make the next time easier. Momentum becomes your ally. Momentum becomes your ally. Momentum does not need excitement. It needs direction. Creating your own motivation also changes how you see challenges. Instead of obstacles, they become cues for action. Difficulty becomes a signal to engage, not retreat. This shift builds resilience. Resilience keeps progress steady under pressure. Many people search for inspiration from outside. Talks, books, quotes, videos. These can spark awareness, but they cannot replace daily action. Inspiration without action fades quickly. Action without inspiration still produces results. Results then inspire. When you become the source of your own motivation, you stop blaming circumstances. You stop waiting for permission. You stop handing power to feelings. You lead your life instead of reacting to it. This approach does not make life effortless. It makes it manageable. Effort becomes predictable. Progress becomes visible. Self-belief grows quietly. Over time, you notice something important. You no longer ask how to get motivated. You ask what needs to be done. That shift marks maturity. It marks ownership. It marks a person who understands that feelings are visitors, not leaders. Creating motivation is a daily practice, not a single breakthrough. Some days it feels smooth. Some days it feels heavy. Both days count. The habit remains the same. Decide, then move. As this habit strengthens, you begin to trust yourself under pressure. You stop fearing low moods because you know they do not stop action. You stop fearing setbacks because you know you will respond. That confidence stabilizes your inner state. When action leads motivation, reality responds faster. Opportunities appear because you are active. Solutions appear because you are engaged. Progress appears because you are consistent. It looks like life is cooperating, but in truth you are cooperating with your own potential. Stop waiting. Waiting delays growth. Decide instead. Move instead. Build motivation through behavior. This is how discipline becomes freedom. This is how effort turns into momentum. This is how you raise your vibration through action, not anticipation. The moment you stop waiting for motivation and start creating it, you step into control, and from that place, progress is no longer a question. It becomes a pattern. Chapter 3. Clean daily thoughts to lift inner energy. One of the quiet forces shaping every life is the stream of thoughts that runs through the mind each day. People often underestimate this because thoughts feel invisible and familiar. They seem harmless because they happen all the time. Yet nothing drains inner energy faster than unmanaged thinking. You can rest the body and still feel exhausted. You can have free time and still feel heavy. That weight usually comes from mental clutter. Daily thoughts act like instructions to the nervous system. Every repeated thought sends a signal. Some signals calm the system, others tighten it. Some expand awareness, others shrink it. When thoughts stay unchecked, they begin to work against you. They replay worries. They magnify small problems. They judge past mistakes. They imagine future trouble. None of this helps action, yet all of it consumes energy. Cleaning daily thoughts does not mean controlling every idea. That would be unrealistic. It means choosing which thoughts deserve attention. It means naming patterns that lower energy and refusing to feed them. Just like physical space becomes uncomfortable when clutter builds, mental space becomes heavy when unnecessary thoughts pile up. Many people wake up already thinking about problems. Before their feet touch the floor, the mind is scanning for pressure. Bills, tasks, conversations, expectations. That habit sets the tone for the day. The body responds with tension. Breathing becomes shallow. Focus scatters. Energy drops early. The day feels long before it even begins. The mind tends to repeat what it practiced yesterday. If yesterday was filled with complaint, today begins with complaint. If yesterday focused on limitation, today starts cautious. Thought habits are built through repetition, not intention. Cleaning them requires awareness followed by choice. The first step is noticing without judgment. Most people criticize themselves for thinking negatively. That adds another layer of tension. Awareness should be calm. Simply observe the tone of your thinking. Is it rushed? Is it heavy? Is it critical? Is it fearful? Observation alone creates distance. Distance gives choice. Thoughts lose power when they are seen clearly. A worry feels strong when it is automatic. When noticed, it becomes an option, not a command. You can say, this thought does not help right now. That decision immediately saves energy. Energy rises when thinking becomes simpler. Many people overthink basic situations. They analyze tone, intent, outcome, reaction. This constant analysis creates mental noise. Clear thinking focuses on what can be done next. One step, one response, one action. Another drain comes from replaying the past. Regret is costly. It pulls attention backward and leaves little strength for the present. Learning from the past requires brief reflection, not repeated punishment. Once a lesson is clear, the replay serves no purpose. Letting go is not denial. It is efficiency. The future also drains energy when imagined without structure. Vague fear exhausts. Clear planning empowers. When a concern appears, ask what can be done today. If nothing can be done now, release the thought. Holding it offers no benefit. Inner energy lifts when thoughts align with responsibility instead of blame. Blame keeps the mind busy and powerless. Responsibility directs thought toward improvement. Even small responsibility restores a sense of control. Control stabilizes emotion. Stability preserves energy. Another important aspect is the language used internally. Words matter because the mind listens. Harsh inner language creates resistance. Supportive language encourages cooperation. Saying this is difficult, but manageable feels different than saying this is impossible. One drains, the other steadies. Cleaning daily thoughts also means limiting unnecessary input. Constant news, endless opinions, constant comparison overload the mind. The brain was not designed to process unlimited information. Reducing input protects energy. Silence restores clarity. Moments of quiet during the day act like mental resets. Even a few minutes without stimulation allows thoughts to settle. During these moments, clarity often returns naturally. Solutions appear without force. Calm replaces urgency. Another practice is directing thought toward appreciation. This does not ignore challenges. It balances attention. Appreciation grounds the mind in what is working. That grounding stabilizes emotion. Stable emotion frees energy for action. People often chase energy through external means. Stimulants, distractions, entertainment. These give short bursts, followed by deeper fatigue. Clean thinking provides steady energy that does not crash. When thoughts become cleaner, decisions improve. Indecision is often the result of mental clutter. Too many imagined outcomes block movement. Clear thought simplifies choices. Action follows. Inner energy also lifts when self-talk becomes honest. Pretending everything is fine when it is not creates tension. Acknowledging difficulty without exaggeration reduces internal conflict. Conflict drains energy. Acceptance conserves it. Cleaning thoughts does not require hours of reflection. It requires brief check-ins. Ask, what am I thinking right now? And is it useful? That question interrupts mental loops. Interruptions prevent build-up. Over time, this practice changes how challenges feel. Problems no longer feel personal. They feel practical. Practical problems invite solutions. Personal problems invite emotion. Emotion without direction exhausts. A clear mind also improves relationships. You listen better. You respond instead of react. You assume less. Misunderstanding decreases. Conflict drains energy. Understanding preserves it. When daily thoughts become cleaner, the body responds. Muscles relax. Breathing deepens. Sleep improves. Energy becomes more available during the day. This is not coincidence. The mind and body operate as one system. People often say they want more energy. What they often need is fewer unnecessary thoughts. Simplicity is powerful. Simplicity frees strength. Cleaning daily thoughts is an ongoing discipline. Some days are easier than others. The goal is not perfection. The goal is direction. Each cleared thought creates space. Space allows energy to rise. As this habit strengthens, you become less reactive. External events lose their grip. You remain steadier under pressure. That steadiness is felt by others. Life responds differently to a calm, focused presence. When inner energy lifts, actions feel lighter. Tasks require less effort. Focus lasts longer. Fatigue decreases. It feels like momentum without strain. This is how thought quality shapes life quality. Not through dramatic insight, but through daily maintenance. Just as you would not let trash pile up in your home, do not let mental clutter pile up in your mind. Clean thoughts support clear intention. Clear intention supports aligned action. Aligned action produces results. Results reinforce belief. Belief stabilizes mood. Mood influences reality. Raising inner energy begins here in the quiet discipline of thought care. It is not loud. It is not dramatic. It is powerful because it is consistent. When your thoughts are clean, your energy becomes available. When energy is available, life feels responsive. That responsiveness is not luck, it is alignment. This practice done daily changes how you move through the world. You feel lighter, not because life became easier, but because you stopped carrying what was unnecessary. Clean thoughts lift inner energy. Lifted energy improves action. Improved action changes outcome, and over time that change becomes your normal state. Chapter 4. Choose calm power over emotional chaos. There comes a moment in every life when a person realizes that raw emotion is expensive. It costs clarity. It costs relationships. It costs time. Emotional chaos feels intense and powerful in the moment, but it leaves weakness behind. Calm power looks quiet on the surface, yet it carries strength that lasts. Choosing between the two is not about personality, it is about maturity. Many people believe strong emotion equals strong character. They confuse loud reactions with confidence. They think intensity means passion. In reality, emotional chaos usually signals loss of control. When emotion runs unchecked, it drives words that cannot be taken back and actions that need repair. Calm power does the opposite. It allows feeling without surrendering direction. Life constantly applies pressure, delays, disagreements, disappointments, unexpected problems. These moments reveal inner habits. Some people explode quickly, others shut down. Both reactions drain energy and limit options. Calm power keeps options open. It creates space between feeling and response. Emotions are natural. They arise automatically. What matters is what happens next. When emotion leads behavior, the outcome is often regret. When awareness leads behavior, emotion becomes information, not instruction. That distinction changes everything. Choosing calm power begins with slowing the internal pace. Emotional chaos speeds everything up. Thoughts race. Speech sharpens. Assumptions multiply. Calm power slows the process. Slowness is not weakness. It is precision. Precision prevents damage. In moments of tension, the body reacts first. Heart rate rises. Muscles tighten. Breathing shortens. If ignored, this physical response hijacks behavior. Calm power starts by regulating the body. Deep breathing, relaxed posture, grounded stance. These actions tell the nervous system that control is present. Once the body steadies, the mind follows. Thoughts become clearer, language becomes measured, decisions improve. This is not suppression, it is regulation. Suppression stores emotion until it explodes later. Regulation processes emotion while maintaining direction. Emotional chaos often seeks release. It wants to discharge tension immediately. Calm power seeks resolution. Resolution requires patience. It requires listening. It requires choosing words carefully. These choices preserve respect even during disagreement. People often regret what they say when emotional. Very few regret staying calm. Calm responses protect credibility. They signal confidence. They earn trust. Others feel safer engaging with someone who does not react unpredictably. Calm power also prevents emotional fatigue. Constant highs and lows exhaust the system. The body is not designed for repeated spikes. Steady emotion conserves energy. Conserved energy supports focus and endurance. Choosing calm does not mean avoiding confrontation. It means handling confrontation skillfully. Calm power addresses issues directly without unnecessary heat. It separates facts from feeling. It keeps the goal visible while emotions are processed privately. In daily life, emotional chaos often appears in small ways. Irritation in traffic, frustration at delays, impatience in conversation. These moments seem minor, but they shape habits. Each reaction trains the nervous system. Calm responses retrain it. A calm response often surprises others. They expect escalation. When escalation does not happen, tension dissolves, conversations soften, solutions emerge. This is how calm power influences environments, without force. Many people fear calm because they associate it with passivity. In truth, calm power is active control. It is choosing response instead of impulse. It is strength directed inward first, then outward. Emotional chaos seeks validation. Calm power seeks effectiveness. Validation feels good briefly. Effectiveness produces lasting results. Over time, those results build confidence that does not depend on reaction. Choosing calm also improves decision-making under pressure. Stress narrows attention. Calm widens it. Wider attention reveals options that stress hides. This advantage compounds over time. Calm power also protects identity. Emotional chaos often leads to behavior that conflicts with values. That creates internal conflict. Calm responses align behavior with values. Alignment builds self-respect. Self-respect becomes a stable source of confidence. It does not fluctuate with praise or criticism. It comes from knowing you handled situations well, even when they were difficult. In relationships, calm power reduces conflict cycles. Many arguments repeat because emotions escalate faster than understanding. Calm breaks the cycle. It allows listening without defensiveness. Understanding becomes possible. Calm power also improves leadership, whether at work or home. People follow those who remain steady under pressure. Steadiness creates safety. Safety builds trust. Trust enables cooperation. The practice of choosing calm is learned through repetition. The first attempts feel unnatural. The emotional habit wants to react. Each pause weakens that habit. Each calm choice strengthens control. Mistakes will happen. There will be moments of reaction. These moments are lessons, not failures. Notice the cost. Reflect without judgment. Adjust next time. Progress is gradual but real. Calm power also enhances presence. When emotions are regulated, attention stays in the moment. Presence improves communication. Others feel heard. Misunderstandings decrease. This presence also improves intuition. A calm mind notices subtle cues. Emotional chaos blocks perception. Calm awareness sees more and reacts less. Choosing calm does not mean denying feelings. Feelings still matter. They are processed privately and constructively. Journaling, movement, reflection. These outlets prevent build-up without public damage. Emotional chaos often feels justified. Calm power feels intentional. Justification rarely improves outcomes. Intention does. When calm becomes habitual, reality feels less hostile. Challenges feel manageable. Pressure feels temporary. Confidence stabilizes. People often say certain situations make them angry. In truth, situations trigger habits. Habits can be changed. Choice restores agency. Choosing calm power is choosing long-term strength over short-term release. It is choosing clarity over confusion. It is choosing leadership over impulse. This choice affects every area of life: work, family, health, growth. Calm power supports consistency. Consistency builds progress. Progress builds belief. When calm leads emotion, reality responds differently. Conversations change. Opportunities increase. Resistance decreases. It appears as though life becomes easier. In truth, you became steadier. This steadiness becomes part of your identity. You are known as someone who handles pressure well. That reputation attracts responsibility and respect. Calm power is not dramatic. It is not loud. It does not seek attention. It produces results quietly and reliably. Each day offers chances to choose between chaos and calm. Each choice strengthens one path. Over time, the chosen path becomes natural. Choose calm power consistently, and emotional chaos loses control. Energy stabilizes, focus sharpens, confidence deepens. This is how inner control shapes outer outcomes. Not through force, but through steadiness. Not through reaction, but through response. Calm power is a decision repeated daily, and that decision changes how life unfolds around you. Chapter 5. Build high-energy mornings that shape days. The way you begin your morning decides how you move through the day. A rushed start leads to scattered energy. A calm and clear start gives you structure. A lazy morning often becomes a day full of delays, but a morning filled with energy creates momentum. This is not about being a morning person or waking up at an unrealistic hour. This is about starting your day with purpose, with presence, and with routines that support your focus, energy, and self-control. Every morning is a chance to reset your mindset, not just your schedule. The world outside is full of noise and urgency. If you open your eyes and step directly into that noise, your inner state gets shaped by it. You don't lead your day leads you. But when you take time to direct your thoughts, move your body, and decide who you're going to be before the world tells you who to be, you change everything. You create strength from within, not from what's going on around you. A high-energy morning does not start by checking notifications or scrolling through other people's lives. It starts by returning to yourself before reacting to the outside world. When your first thoughts are about other people's opinions or problems, you already gave away control. Your energy is no longer yours, and what follows is a distracted, reactive day. Start your morning by building attention. Not attention toward the world, but attention toward your own mind and body. Sit still for a few minutes. Breathe deeply. Ask yourself, what do I want this day to be about? Not what you have to do, not what others expect from you, but what you want to bring into the day. Clarity is power, and it only shows up when you give it space. Then move. Not with pressure, not with a long workout if you're not ready for that. Just move your body to wake up your system. Stretch, walk, do a few push-ups. The goal is not to impress anyone. The goal is to signal to your body that the day has started and that you're in control of your energy, not a slave to it. Hydration matters. Most people start their day with caffeine before they've even had water. Your brain is dehydrated when you wake up. Your cells are waiting. Give your body what it actually needs before giving it what feels easy. That one simple act, drinking water before anything else, is a message. It says, today I take care of myself. Now comes something most people ignore. Protect your input. Don't listen to things that drain you. Don't watch or read things that trigger comparison or fear. For the first hour of your day, protect your mental space like it matters, because it does. Your thoughts in the first hour are the most impressionable. They stay with you. Make sure what enters your mind early in the day lifts you up, not pulls you down. Another high-energy practice is writing. Not long essays or perfect journal entries. Just empty your mind. Write what you're thinking. Write what you feel. Write what's bothering you. When you write things down, you no longer carry them. Your brain clears, your focus sharpens, your emotions settle, and now you've created space to bring in something better. Gratitude, clarity, direction. The most powerful people in the world don't always have more talent or more knowledge. What they do have is structure. Their mornings are not random. They don't rely on motivation. They rely on systems, and systems do not require you to feel inspired. They only ask that you show up. Energy is created by consistency, not excitement. Build a structure that works for you. Don't copy someone else. What matters is that it's yours and that it works. A high-energy morning does not mean you never feel tired. It means you act from purpose, not from how you feel. Some days you will wake up low, but your actions can still be strong. That's real power, not waiting to feel perfect, but doing what needs to be done anyway. That's how you build momentum. That's how your days begin to listen to you. There's something else most people never consider. How you speak to yourself in the morning becomes the tone of your entire day. If your first thoughts are critical, if you start with pressure or doubt, your brain carries that emotional tone for hours. But if your self-talk is steady, clear and calm, your confidence grows naturally. You don't need to hype yourself up. You just need to speak with intention. Set one clear goal each morning. Not a list of 20 things, just one meaningful intention. That goal gives you a direction. The day may throw distractions at you, but your brain has a path. Energy increases when we know what matters. Energy leaks when everything feels equal. Most people are tired, not because they do too much, but because they give attention to too many things that don't matter. Pick one. Own it. If you can, spend a few minutes with silence. Sit in it. Don't rush. Don't reach for something. This is your reset. In the silence, you'll hear what you actually feel. You'll realize what your body and mind need. You don't need to meditate like a monk. You just need to stop escaping yourself first thing in the morning. Sleep also shapes your mornings. High-energy mornings begin the night before. Your body needs rest to restore energy, not just to survive. Cut late-night noise. Shut off screens earlier. Give your system a real chance to recover. Stop making sleep a low priority and then blaming the day for being hard. If you share your home with others, your energy affects them too. How you show up sets a tone. When you walk into a room calm, focused, present, other people feel it. That's leadership. Not a title, but your presence. Lead your space by owning your mornings. And if you have kids or people who depend on you, your morning structure becomes even more important. It's not selfish, it's responsibility. When you take care of your state, you become a better example. You listen better. You respond better. You handle pressure with more ease. The people around you learn from how you carry yourself, not from what you say. It's not about being perfect. Some mornings will be rushed, some will be quiet, some will be loud. That's life. What matters is that you return to your core structure as often as you can. Your rituals become your anchor. High-energy mornings build identity. Every time you follow through on your routine, you prove something to yourself. You prove that you are capable of leading your life, that you don't need to be pushed, that you don't wait to feel perfect, that you decide. The day will test you. It will throw change, delay, noise, and challenge. But if you've built your energy early, mentally, physically, emotionally, you'll walk through that day with more strength, more patience, and more clarity. Not because the day was easy, but because you were ready. And that's how you shape your days instead of letting them shape you. Chapter 6. Control reactions to keep vibration steady. Every day you will face situations that test your emotional balance. A comment you didn't expect, a delay that throws off your schedule, a message that triggers frustration, a conversation that feels unfair. In those moments, how you react becomes more important than what actually happened. Reactions are choices, not just automatic responses, and every reaction either raises or lowers your personal vibration. If you're serious about keeping your vibration steady, you must learn to master your reactions. The mind moves quickly. Something happens, and before we even think, we feel something. That's normal. Emotions are natural, but reactions are decisions. Most people don't separate those two. They assume what they feel must be expressed. But feeling is information. Expression is responsibility. When you feel something, you can pause. When you pause, you take your power back. The person who can stay calm in the middle of pressure is not weaker. They are stronger, because they know that giving power to every emotional impulse will eventually cost peace, energy and progress. Inner peace is not about removing problems. It's about not letting problems remove your control. If you check your reaction every time something triggers you, you begin to notice patterns. Some triggers come from your past. Others come from expectations not being met. But most are not personal. They are just situations that happen. Your nervous system interprets them in a certain way. Once you see that, you stop being a slave to reactions. You start observing instead of absorbing. And that difference is everything. The goal is not to suppress your emotions. It's to guide them so they serve you instead of rule you. Imagine someone cuts you off in traffic. You feel anger rise. That's automatic. But what happens next is not. You can hold on to the emotion, replay the situation in your mind all day. Tell 3 people about it and let it color your mood. Or you can acknowledge it and release it. One keeps your vibration low. The other protects it. We often give away our energy to the smallest moments. Someone else's bad mood becomes our own. Someone's careless words change how we feel about ourselves. This happens when we haven't yet our mind to slow down and see clearly. When your reactions are instant and uncontrolled, your vibration is unstable. And when your vibration is unstable, your confidence drops. You begin to feel like you're not in charge of your life, and that feeling eats away at your motivation. Staying steady doesn't mean nothing affects you. It means you've trained yourself to respond instead of react. The response is deliberate. It reflects your values, not your emotions in the moment. It keeps you aligned with who you want to be. And the more you respond with intention, the more trust you build with yourself. A big part of reaction control is learning how to slow things down. The world moves fast. People expect fast answers, fast replies, fast decisions. But speed is not power. Presence is power. When you slow down your internal response, you start to see what matters and what doesn't. You stop being dragged into arguments that don't need to happen. You stop explaining yourself when silence is enough. You stop feeding energy into situations that are already full of noise. Start noticing what throws you off. Is it being interrupted, being misunderstood, feeling ignored, being judged? Each one of these has a trigger beneath it. Once you understand the trigger, you can prepare. You can build new habits around them. You can decide ahead of time. When this happens, I won't let it decide how I speak, think, or act. That is how leaders move. That is how strong people stay strong. The reason this matters so much is because your vibration affects your decisions. When your energy is high and steady, you see clearly. You choose based on vision. When your energy drops, even small decisions feel stressful. You start operating from fear, from defense, from doubt. That's how you lose direction. It doesn't take a major event to throw you off. It only takes one uncontrolled reaction to start a chain of reactions that lead nowhere useful. Emotional regulation is not just a personal skill. It affects your relationships, your work, your goals. When you can stay calm, you listen better. You communicate more clearly. You avoid unnecessary conflict. People feel safer around you, and that safety opens doors. It builds trust. It creates deeper connection. It's important to understand that not reacting does not mean avoiding problems. It means facing them with clarity instead of chaos. It means saying what needs to be said, but without the emotional weight that distorts your message. It means being able to say no without guilt. It means being able to disagree without disrespect. That kind of control creates respect, not just from others, but from yourself. There's also the issue of self-talk. Often your strongest reactions are not to the outside world, but to your own thoughts. You judge yourself harshly. You criticize every small mistake. You replay failures. This inner chaos affects your vibration deeply. If you want steadiness, you have to start treating yourself with the same calm strength you would offer someone you love. Your mind becomes stable when it knows it won't be attacked for every misstep. One of the most effective ways to build this steadiness is to practice micro-pauses. Before you reply to a message, before you respond in a conversation, before you send that email, just a short pause. Breathe. Ask yourself, does this move me toward who I want to be? That question keeps you aligned. That alignment keeps your vibration consistent. There's also a physical side to this. Your nervous system holds emotional tension. If you're constantly reactive, your body never fully relaxes. Over time, that turns into fatigue, headaches, tension, and burnout. When you learn to pause and breathe through emotion, instead of exploding or suppressing, your body also learns to settle, and a calm body supports a calm mind. Some people believe that reacting strongly proves passion, but passion without discipline burns out quickly. Real strength is shown when you stay centered, even when it's hard, not because you're numb, but because you've trained yourself to lead, not follow emotions. That kind of presence changes how people experience you. It changes how you experience yourself. Reactions are habits, and like any habit, they can be changed. It won't happen in one day, but each time you choose not to react, you create a new pattern, and those patterns become your baseline. What once triggered you now passes without controlling you. That is growth. You don't need to fix every emotional reaction immediately. Start by observing. Notice when your energy drops. Ask yourself what you're reacting to. Ask if that reaction helps you or hurts you, and then choose something better. That one shift, done consistently, can raise your vibration more than any external change ever will. Keep your vibration steady by staying in control of your reactions. Let the world move how it moves. You don't have to match its speed or chaos. Lead yourself, lead your energy, lead your life. That's real power. Chapter 7. Protect your focus from low energy triggers. Focus is one of the most valuable things you have, and in today's world, it's also one of the easiest things to lose. Your focus decides what gets built, what moves forward, and what stays stuck. And yet, without noticing, many people give it away freely. To distractions, to noise, to habits, and people that drain their energy without adding anything meaningful. If you want to raise your vibration and keep it strong, you must learn to protect your focus like your future depends on it, because it does. Low energy triggers are everywhere. They are not just loud things. Sometimes they're small. A habit you slip into first thing in the morning. A social media feed you scroll through without thinking. A text you read before you're mentally ready. A conversation that leaves you feeling off for the rest of the day. These triggers are not obvious, but they have one thing in common. They pull you away from yourself. They shift your state. They create noise inside your mind. And once your attention is scattered, your energy follows. Focus is not just about productivity, it's about direction. Where your focus goes, your energy follows. Where your energy goes, your results grow. And if your attention is constantly pulled in 20 different directions by low energy triggers, then even your best ideas can't take root. You're stuck in reaction mode, responding to things that don't matter, while the things that do sit untouched. To protect your focus, you must first become aware of what's draining it. That requires honesty. It's easy to say you're busy. It's harder to admit that half your energy is being spent on things that leave you mentally tired and emotionally flat. Start by noticing what leaves you feeling worse after you engage with it. Not what's entertaining, not what's popular, what lowers your mental clarity or weakens your emotional state. That's a low energy trigger. It could be how you start your day. If the first thing you do is open your phone and scroll through endless content, you've already allowed your focus to be shaped by someone else's agenda. You've put yourself in a reactive state before you've had the chance to think for yourself. This is not a small decision. The tone of your entire day is often set in the first hour. Guard it. Fill it with practices that lift you up, not wear you down. Some people think multitasking is a strength. It's not. It's one of the fastest ways to dilute your focus. When your brain switches between tasks constantly, it never fully locks in. You get less done. You feel more drained. And at the end of the day, you wonder where the time went. Choose one task, one priority, one clear outcome. Your energy becomes sharper when it's not split. Another trigger is mental clutter. When your mind is holding on to too many open loops, unfinished tasks, unresolved problems, constant decision-making, your focus becomes foggy. Clear your mind regularly. Write things down. Create systems to capture your ideas and to-dos so they don't live rent-free in your head. A clear mind supports sharp focus. Your environment also matters more than you think. A cluttered space becomes a low-energy trigger. You might not notice it at first, but over time, it drains your mental energy. Your surroundings speak to your brain. They either say, you're in control, or you're overwhelmed. You don't need a perfect space. You need a space that reflects clarity and supports attention. Not everyone deserves your focus. Some conversations are distractions pretending to be important. Some people drain you not because they're bad, but because they're not aligned with the energy you're trying to build. You don't need to cut people off to protect your focus, but you do need boundaries. You decide how much access people have to your attention. Every time you protect it, you strengthen your ability to stay grounded in your own energy. Low energy triggers are often tied to habit. The things you do automatically, without thinking. The way you check your phone out of boredom. The way you open an app when you're avoiding something. The way you say yes when you really need to say no. These habits chip away at your focus over time. But once you become aware of them, you can replace them with better ones that restore energy instead of drain it. Another area that people overlook is the kind of content they consume. If what you're watching, reading, or listening to is constantly triggering stress, outrage, or comparison, it's lowering your vibration. It might be entertaining, but it's also quietly exhausting you. Be selective. Consume what supports your growth, your peace, your strength. Your attention is too valuable to spend on content that takes more than it gives. To stay focused, you also need to know what you're working toward. When you don't have a clear purpose, distractions look more attractive. But when you're deeply connected to a goal or mission, it becomes easier to say no to what doesn't serve it. Clarity creates resistance to noise. Without clarity, everything feels urgent. With clarity, you know what matters and what can wait. One of the strongest focus-protecting habits is creating space in your day without stimulation. No phone, no music, no distractions. Just a few minutes to breathe, think, reset. This space allows your mind to settle. It gives your nervous system a break from constant input, and in that stillness, you often find what really matters. Most people are overstimulated and under-focused. Creating stillness is how you take back control. Protecting your focus also means managing your energy throughout the day. Don't wait until you're burned out to take breaks. Move your body, step outside, drink water, eat foods that support energy instead of crash it. When your physical energy is strong, your mental energy is easier to control. Fatigue makes distraction more tempting. So take care of your body if you want your focus to last. Learn to end your day with intention too. Don't carry everything with you into the night. Close the loops. Reflect. Reset. Decide what matters for tomorrow. Your focus is not just shaped by your morning. It's also shaped by how you finish. Sleep better. Rest deeper. And when you wake up, you'll be ready to lead your energy instead of chase it. Protecting your focus is not about being perfect. It's about being aware. Every time you make a decision that supports clarity, you raise your energy. Every time you say no to a distraction, you strengthen your mind. Every time you catch yourself drifting and return to the present, you prove that you're the one in charge. This is how you build a steady, focused mind in a world that wants your attention every second. You choose. You protect. You lead. That's how you raise your vibration from the inside out. Chapter 8. Match actions with the life you want. Every person has a picture in their mind of the kind of life they want to live. It might be clear or blurry. It might feel far away or close, but it's there. A life where you feel strong, calm, clear, and in control. A life where you're proud of how you show up. But having that vision means nothing if your daily actions don't match it. If your choices don't support the life you want, you're just imagining, not building. People say they want peace but feed their day with stress. They say they want confidence but speak to themselves with judgment. They say they want progress but spend hours on distractions. The disconnect between words and actions is what keeps most people stuck. Not a lack of talent, not a lack of time. A lack of alignment. When your actions match your vision, your life starts to respond. When they don't, the gap grows bigger and you start to feel frustrated, restless, or lost. Matching your ons with the life you want starts with brutal honesty. Look at your habits. Look at how you spend your time. Look at what you do when nobody's watching. Those are your real priorities, not the ones you write down or talk about. There's no judgment here, just awareness. You don't change your life by hoping. You change it by doing. But first, you must see clearly. Think about the life you want, not the fantasy, the real version. What does your day look like? How do you talk to people? How do you handle stress? How do you treat your body? What kind of work do you do? Now look at your current routines. Do they lead you there or pull you in the opposite direction? Are your daily actions preparing you for that life or protecting your comfort zone? You don't need to change everything overnight. That's not realistic. But you do need to start matching your small decisions to that future. You want a healthy body, then your meals, your movement, your sleep, they must reflect that desire. You want to be more focused? Then your phone habits, your environment, your calendar must support that. You want peace of mind? Then the way you speak, react, and set boundaries needs to shift. Every action you take is a vote for the kind of life you want. No one action defines you, but they add up. Over time, the pattern becomes your lifestyle, and your lifestyle becomes your reality. This is why alignment matters so much. When your choices line up with your goals, you stop fighting yourself. You stop feeling torn. You start moving with clarity, and with clarity comes momentum. One of the biggest reasons people feel stuck is because their actions keep telling the universe they're not ready. They say they want more, but their effort says they're still deciding. The moment you start acting like the person you want to become, things start to shift. You speak differently. You think more clearly. You walk with more confidence. People respond to that. Opportunities respond to that. It's not about pretending. It's about practicing. If you want to be disciplined, act disciplined even on the days you don't feel like it. If you want to be calm, choose calm when it would be easier to react. If you want to lead, lead in small moments before anyone gives you a title. When your actions match your identity, you don't need to prove anything, you become it. This alignment builds self-trust. Every time you follow through, you prove to yourself that you can be counted on. That trust becomes inner strength, and that strength becomes your standard. Now when life gets tough, and it will, you're not shaken. You know how to act. You've trained for it. You've built it into who you are. You can't control everything in life, but you can control whether your actions support your vision or sabotage it. That's your power. That's your responsibility. Every scroll, every excuse, every choice to delay, it either feeds your dream or feeds your doubt. You're always feeding something. Make sure it's the right thing. It's also important to make your vision specific. Vague goals create vague actions. Get clear. What does the next version of you look like? How do they speak? What do they tolerate? What do they chase? What do they walk away from? Use that image to guide your behavior, not in some distant future, but today. There will be resistance. That's normal. The brain prefers comfort and familiarity, but comfort doesn't build anything. It just keeps you where you are. You must be willing to make choices that feel uncomfortable, but meaningful. The kind of choices that create results instead of just dreams. You don't need motivation every day. You need structure. You need habits that make the right actions easier. Prepare your environment so that it supports the life you want. Remove what drags you back to old patterns. Add what pushes you forward. And remember, you won't always feel like it. Do it anyway. That's how you earn momentum. There's also power in reviewing your days. At night, ask yourself, did my actions reflect the life I say I want? Not to judge, but to learn. If they didn't, why? What distracted me? What excuse did I listen to? What can I do better tomorrow? That kind of reflection builds awareness, and awareness turns into better decisions. Matching your actions to your desired life is not about being perfect. It's about being consistent. It's not about forcing yourself. It's about choosing wisely. You will make mistakes. That's fine. What matters is that you keep returning to your path. Every time you do, you get stronger. This practice is how you shift your identity, from someone who hopes to someone who does, from someone who waits to someone who creates, from someone who talks about change to someone who lives it. You stop seeking permission. You start giving yourself direction. You're not too late. You're not too far behind. You don't need a fresh start. You just need to start aligning your choices. Start with what you can control: your effort, your focus, your attitude. These are within reach. No matter what's going on around you, control what you can, and let that build into something greater. The life you want is not waiting on a miracle. It's waiting on your consistency. It's waiting on your discipline. It's waiting on your decision to show up every day like it matters, because it does. When your actions match your vision, things begin to shift, not just around you, but within you. You start to believe more. You stop making excuses. You stop doubting your path. And when that belief grows, your vibration rises. And when your vibration rises, reality starts to respond. This is not a one-time push. It's a daily practice. But the more you live in alignment, the easier it becomes. You stop chasing life. You start shaping it. And that's when everything begins to change. Chapter 9. Stay consistent until results change naturally. Every breakthrough that ever happened started with someone deciding to keep going when nothing was changing. That's the truth most people don't talk about enough. Progress doesn't always announce itself. It doesn't always show quick results. Sometimes you do the right things for days, weeks, even months, and on the surface it looks like nothing is happening. But underneath, everything is shifting. The only way to see it through is to stay consistent long enough for the results to show up on their own. Most people quit not because they aren't capable, but because they expected to feel something sooner. They thought the progress would come with sparks, with motivation, with constant signs of growth. But real transformation doesn't work like that. It's quiet. It builds while you're sleeping. It builds while you're doubting. It builds when you feel like you're wasting your time. And then one day, something clicks. Not by chance, but because you stayed with it long enough for things to catch up. Consistency is not about perfection. It's about showing up again and again, even when your mind gives you every excuse to stop. The brain is wired to seek quick rewards. When it doesn't get them, it tells you to pull back. That's where most people break. They assume that slow results mean something's wrong, but nothing is wrong. That's how real growth looks in the beginning. Slow, invisible, and frustrating. You have to train yourself to stop needing proof before committing to the process. Needing constant evidence of progress can ruin your momentum. You start checking every day, measuring every detail, and when you don't see instant improvement, your energy drops. But you're not growing for quick validation. You're growing because the life you want depends on it. And that life does not reward short bursts. It rewards endurance. Think about anything meaningful in life. Strong relationships, a healthy body, a clear mind, financial stability. None of it comes from doing something once or twice. It comes from daily effort, built on ordinary days, through ordinary actions. That's the part nobody sees. The quiet grind, the boring reps, the decision to stay steady when motivation is gone. That's the real work. And the results, they always show up. Just not always when you expect. What you do today might not give you results today. That's the hard part. But if you let that stop you, you'll never get anywhere. You must choose to be the person who shows up even without reward. Because consistency isn't about the outcome, it's about becoming someone who doesn't break every time it gets hard. When you're consistent, you create patterns. Your brain starts to recognize those patterns as identity. If you write every day, you start to believe you're a writer. If you train every day, you start to feel like an athlete. If you study every day, you start to feel intelligent. But that identity only forms when you stay with it long enough. Break the pattern too early, and you go back to the old version of yourself. It's not easy. Some days will feel like a waste. You'll question why you're even trying. You'll see others getting results faster. You'll want to change your strategy for the 10th time. But most of the time, it's not the strategy, it's the timing. You haven't been doing it long enough for the momentum to show. That's why consistency matters more than anything else. It creates the space for results to appear naturally. One of the most important things you can do is lower the emotional weight you put on your daily actions. Not everything has to feel exciting or rewarding. Not every workout needs to be powerful. Not every journal entry needs to be deep. Not every task needs to feel inspiring. The goal is not to feel amazing. The goal is to build something real, and real things are built with quiet effort over time. You don't need to see growth every day. You just need to trust that it's happening. You're learning something. You're building discipline. You're removing distractions. You're becoming someone who doesn't stop. These things add up. Slowly, quietly, but they add up. It helps to zoom out. Instead of asking, did I improve today? Ask, if I keep doing this for the next 6 months, where will I be? That shift in thinking pulls you out of the moment and reminds you that growth is a long game. Nobody who's ever built something powerful did it in a week. They just refused to stop when it was uncomfortable. One of the best ways to stay consistent is to make it simple. People overcomplicate routines. They think more intensity equals better results. But what actually works is sustainability. Small habits that are easy to repeat beat massive efforts that burn you out. Keep it doable. Keep it clear. Make it so simple you can do it even on your worst days. That's how you stay consistent without draining yourself. You also need to protect your consistency from outside opinions. People will question your process. They'll ask why you're doing something that's not giving you instant results. Don't let their doubt become your doubt. Most people don't understand consistency because they've never practiced it. Stay grounded in your vision. Your results will speak when it's time. Until then, let your discipline speak for you. Tracking your effort helps too. Not to obsess over numbers, but to remind yourself of your pattern. Every day you follow through, write it down. Not to celebrate perfection, but to prove that you're still in the game. Over time, that visual pattern becomes motivation. It reminds you that you've already come too far to go back. Don't fall for the idea that you need to feel ready every day. You don't. Most progress is made on the days you don't feel like it. That's when it counts the most. When you do it tired. When you do it frustrated. When you do it unsure. Those days build resilience, and resilience is what carries you when results are taking too long. It's not about never missing a day, it's about never staying off track. One missed step doesn't break the pattern. Quitting does. If you fall behind, return. If you feel lost, restart. If it gets boring, adjust. But don't stop. That's how people lose everything they've built, by quitting too soon. Let time do its work. Let the seeds you've planted take root. There's something powerful about knowing you don't have to chase results. You just need to keep showing up. Keep doing what you said you'd do. Keep acting in line with your values, and the results, they will come. Not because you forced them, but because you stayed long enough for them to grow. Stay consistent until results change naturally. Let your focus be on the process. Let your reward be your own growth. Let your identity be built on discipline, not dopamine. That's how you become unstoppable. That's how you raise your vibration. That's how reality starts to shift without you needing to chase it. Because when you're aligned and consistent, life responds. Always. Chapter 10. Move with certainty even when afraid. Fear is not the problem. The problem is letting fear decide what happens next. Every single person feels fear. Some admit it, some hide it, some pretend they're fearless. But the ones who change their lives, the ones who move forward, are not the ones without fear. They're the ones who move with it. They walk forward anyway. They act even when it's uncomfortable. They know that waiting for fear to disappear is the same as waiting forever. Because fear doesn't leave on its own. It's pushed out by action. You will never feel fully ready for the things that truly matter. That's part of the process. Growth doesn't feel safe at first. It feels uncertain. Your mind wants to protect you. It wants to stay where things are predictable. So when you try something new, it gives you doubt. It brings up everything that could go wrong. It tells you to wait, to think more, to prepare longer. But the truth is, overthinking is often fear in disguise. It's how fear keeps you stuck, while making you feel like you're being responsible. Moving with certainty doesn't mean you know how everything will turn out. It means you've decided that progress matters more than perfection. It means you've chosen to trust your ability to figure things out on the way. That trust is something you build, not something you're born with. It comes from doing hard things, even when you're unsure, and realizing that you can handle them, one step at a time. Certainty is not a feeling you wait for. It's a decision you make. You don't need to eliminate fear. You just need to stop letting it run your decision. That starts by learning how to feel afraid and act anyway. You don't shrink from the moment. You don't look for guarantees. You look for the next step, and you take it. That's what real confidence is. Not feeling bulletproof, but doing what matters even when it's hard. There will always be unknowns. Life won't offer you full clarity before you move. The path shows itself as you walk. You don't get certainty and then act. You act and certainty shows up later. Action creates clarity. Thinking too much only creates pressure. The longer you sit with fear, the more powerful it becomes. The faster you move, the less space fear has to grow. Think about how many people stay stuck in situations they don't like, not because